Somewhere in America right now, there is a house sitting empty. No one is living in it, no one is cutting the grass, no one is taking out the trash. The family that used to live there is gone. They lost the house. The bank took it back. And inside that house right now, clothes on the floor, furniture nobody wanted, old food in the fridge, broken things nobody fixed. The bank owns it now, and the bank does not want to touch it. So they call someone, and that someone gets paid anywhere from $1,500 to $5,000 to clean it out. One house, one day, sometimes 2 days. That is not a salary. That is not a side hustle. That is a business. And today, we are going to show you exactly how it works. Hi, I hope you are doing well. Come for the business idea, stay for the part where we break down how to actually start it with less than $4,000. So let me start with a very simple question. What happens to a house after the bank takes it back? Most people have no idea, and that right there is exactly where the money is hiding. The problem banks cannot solve. Every single year in the United States, hundreds of thousands of homes go through something called foreclosure. Foreclosure is just a big word that means this. The homeowner stopped paying their mortgage, so the bank legally takes the house back. Now the bank owns the house. And here is where things get interesting. Banks are not cleaning companies. They do not have trucks. They do not have crews. They do not want to go sort through someone's old couch and broken refrigerator and bags of clothes and busted toys left behind in a garage. They just want to sell the house fast, get it off their books, move on. But they cannot sell a dirty, trashed out house. Not quickly anyway. So what do? They outsource the problem. They look for small companies and independent contractors who are willing to go into these properties, clean them out completely, haul away the junk, mow the grass, maybe do basic repairs, take photos as proof, and then send a report back. And the bank pays them, within 30 days, every single time. Now here's the wild part. This is not a rare thing. This is not a niche corner of the market. There are asset management companies right now that manage thousands of these properties across the country. There are government programs that list vendors publicly. There are entire systems already built and waiting for people to plug into them. You do not have to go find the customers. The system sends them to you. So what does this actually look like on the ground? You get an assignment. Let's say it's a 3-bedroom house in your city. You show up. You walk through. You photograph everything so you have a record. Then you start removing furniture, garbage, old clothes, boxes, whatever the previous owner left behind. You load it into your truck or trailer. You take it to a dump or a debris disposal facility. Then you come back and clean. Maybe you mow the lawn if it's overgrown. Maybe you change the locks if the bank requests it. Maybe you board up a broken window. You take final photos. You fill out a report. You submit it. Done. A single property like that can take 1 day, sometimes 2, and it pays anywhere from $1,500 on the low end to $5,000 on the bigger jobs. Now obviously no one knows the exact number until they see the property, but let's say you do just 3 jobs a month. That is somewhere between $4,500 and $15,000 in revenue in a month from a business you started with less than $4,000. Hey, stop scrolling for 5 seconds. If this is useful, hit the like button right now and subscribe. I want to keep making stuff like this for you. Okay, back to it. What it costs to start. 4:35 to 6 o'clock. Let's talk money. Specifically, how much you need to get started. The startup cost for this business is somewhere between $2,500 and $4,000. That is it. Here is what that money goes toward. First, a truck or a cargo trailer. If you already own a pickup truck, you are already ahead. If you need a trailer, you can find a used one for a few hundred to a couple $1,000s. The trailer is how you haul debris away from the property. Second, your tools. Shovels, rakes, brooms, heavy-duty trash bags, gloves, face masks, basic cleaning supplies. You are not buying specialized equipment. You are buying the kind of things you can find at any hardware store for a few $100s total. Third, a debris disposal account. This just means you set up an account with your local landfill, dump, or junk removal facility so you can drop off loads legally. Some areas charge by the ton. Some charge a flat rate. Either way, you factor that cost into your pricing. Fourth, A crew. Now this one is interesting. You do not need to hire strangers right away. Some people start with just family members helping out. You share the work, you share the pay. As the business grows, you can hire part-time workers or small subcontractors. That is genuinely the full list. No office, no fancy equipment, no commercial lease. You start lean. You grow from the profits. How to get your first job. This is the part that most people overthink. They assume they need a website, a logo, a bunch of business cards, a social media following. You do not. The way this business gets work is through official vendor registration systems that already exist and are already connected to the people who need you. Let me explain the main ones. First, HUD. That stands for the Department of Housing and Urban Development. It is a United States government agency that manages foreclosed properties tied to government loans. They have a contractor portal where you can register as a vendor. Once you are in the system, work gets routed to you based on your location. Second, field service companies. These are companies like PEMCO and ISGN. They act as the middlemen between banks and local contractors. Banks hire them to manage thousands of properties. They hire local vendors, meaning you, to do the actual work on the ground. Registering with them is free. Once approved, they send assignments automatically. Third, REO asset managers. REO stands for real estate owned. These are the people inside banks or hired by banks who specifically manage foreclosed properties. You can contact them directly at local and regional banks. Search for REO department manager at any bank in your area. Send them a short introduction. Let them know you are available for property preservation and clean-out work. Fourth, property management companies. Some of them also manage bank-owned properties. They are another source of work, especially at the local level. Now here is something interesting to think about. This is not like cold calling random people hoping someone wants what you are selling. These companies and agencies are already looking for vendors. They already have properties sitting right now that need to be cleaned out. You are not convincing them they have a problem. You are just raising your hand and saying you can solve it. That is a very different conversation. Let me walk through the numbers honestly. A standard foreclosure cleanout pays between $1,500 and $5,000 per property, depending on the size and condition. Your costs per job include dump fees, fuel, supplies, and crew pay if you are not doing it alone. On a typical job, your cost might be somewhere between $300 and $800, depending on how much debris there is and how far you have to travel. That means your profit per job is roughly somewhere between $700 and $4,000. If you do 4 jobs in a month, you are looking at somewhere between $2,800 and $16,000 in profit. Obviously, no one starts at the top of that range. You build, you get faster, you get a bigger crew, you take on more jobs. But even on the conservative end, someone doing this part-time, 2 or 3 jobs a month, can clear a few $1,000s in profit while keeping their regular job. That is a real number, not a dream, not a promise. And the startup cost, $2,500 to $4,000, you could realistically earn that back from your very first 2 jobs. That is the kind of return on investment that is genuinely hard to find anywhere else at this entry level. Now you might be thinking, what if I am not in the United States? That is a fair question. The specific systems like HUD registration and REO networks are tied to the American market. But the core idea, cleaning out vacant or repossessed properties for banks, housing agencies, or property managers, that exists in almost every country with a real estate and banking system. In the UK, properties get repossessed. In Canada, foreclosure is called power of sale. In Australia, mortgagee in possession sales happen every year. The approach is the same. Find the local equivalent of asset managers, banks with property divisions, or government housing agencies. Contact them. Ask if they use local vendors for property cleanout and maintenance. Many of them do, and many of them will say yes if you show up professionally and are willing to do the work. The infrastructure may look different, but the problem is the same everywhere. Banks end up with houses they do not want to manage themselves. So let's go back to that house we talked about at the beginning. Empty, full of someone else's leftover life. The bank does not want it. The neighbors do not want to look at it. The city wants it cleaned up. The buyer waiting to purchase it cannot move forward until it is done. Everyone in that story needs the same thing. They need someone with a truck, a crew, and the willingness to show up and do the work that nobody else wants to do. and that person gets paid very well for doing it. Here is what I keep thinking about though. Most people walk past opportunity like this every day because it does not look glamorous. It does not look like a tech startup. It does not have a sleek app or a catchy brand name. It just looks like work. And maybe that is exactly the point. The businesses that survive, the ones that grow quietly and keep making money year after year, they are usually the ones solving a problem that is real, urgent, and a little bit unglamorous. Foreclosure cleanup is all three. So here's the question I want to leave you with. What other problems are sitting right in front of you right now that nobody wants to deal with, and that someone out there would gladly pay a few $1,000s for you to solve? Think about that. If this gave you something to think about, drop a comment below. Tell me if this is something you would try, or tell me which part surprised you most. I genuinely read those. If you want to see more businesses like this broken down the same way, subscribe. I will keep making them. I hope you have a great rest of your day. See you in the next one.